All right. As always, as we file into the room here, Mike, let me ask you, it's fall, it's football season. Who, so who is it going to be? Who's going to be number one at the end of the season?
Dude, I mean, I've got 40 years invested with the same team. Of course, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, I don't
Like,
care about pro. I'm talking about college.
all right, well, okay, so
The
college.
football that counts.
All right, so we're getting ready to go to. We just came from A&M and Arkansas,
Yep.
and getting ready to go to A&M and LSU. Right, a game
Okay.
over in Baton Rouge. I tend to think A&M's a sleeper team, man. They still got a shot at the SEC championship.
You think so? Yeah, I haven't kept up with the East. I mean, with the West. So are they, so is it tight?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they even played Alabama tight last week. I mean, they lost, but it was a 6 point game. But with just that one loss, they still got a shot. I mean, it's a slim chance, but they got a shot for the championship. We
Right.
need Alabama to get beat, or they need Alabama to get beat. So I don't think it's Alabama. I don't think it's Texas, even though Texas looked pretty good.
They do
Uh,
look good.
yeah, I don't think it is. I don't think
I
it's
haven't
them.
watched Michigan. I mean, they're what, ranked two, right? I mean, Georgia, I'm a Georgia guy, so you got them ranked one. I don't know that they're playing like a number one team. They don't really seem to be to me.
And
So,
I think that every year about Georgia.
right.
I'm like going, and they just surprise you at the end. They're like, all of a sudden, they're a good team.
Right. Like cobble it together somehow. So we'll see. We shall see. All right. But that's our predictions. There we go. Although you never actually, what is your prediction? Who's going to end up in number
All right.
one?
I never want to say Michigan. I just never want to. So I guess.
Michigan or Notre Dame.
All right. So yeah, I never want to say those. So I'll go Texas just because.
All right. I got to stick with the dogs, but I'm a little suspect because they don't look great, right? They
I
hadn't
don't
been
want
to
to three-peat. I don't want to three-peat. I never root for those.
yeah. Well, my wife's an Alabama fan, so I need some I need to get build some history here. So all right. Well, here we go. I'm not sure if anybody came to listen to our predictions or not. Probably not. But if you have your own thoughts, you can always throw it in the Q&A. So let me get this kicked off. So welcome to today's Cash Flow Mastery Talks with Cash Flow Mike. My name is Gary Dehart, and I'm the publisher of Insightful Accountant and the host of the Accounting Insiders podcast. In today's short 30-minute webinar, Cash Flow Mike is going to be discussing optimizing accounts receivables, strategies for faster payments collections. That's right, Mike? Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. All right. So we got that right. All right. So quick reminder, this does not qualify for CPE. It's around 30 minutes. So we just don't hit that 1 hour mark for you. But if you do have questions, we ask you to put them in the Q&A, and we ask you to be very specific in your question. Don't say, Mike, what did you mean by that? So just be specific. He may not be able to answer the question when you ask it. The recording of the session will be posted to our YouTube channel, and I will put the link to the YouTube channel in the chat. Once Mike takes over, we'll also send you in a follow-up email. As far as Mike, I didn't ask you if we're able to share the PowerPoint or the slide deck after this or during either one.
I will. I don't have it in PDF yet, but I'll make it PDF right after this and send it to you.
Perfect. All right, great. And then I do want to make everyone aware, and I'll drop links into the chat for these as well. So we have multiple webinars coming up. We have a QB Talks next week. I'll drop that on, and that's basically the latest and greatest in updates in QBO. And then we have 5 other webinars the balance of this month. I'm going to be, I'm going to just look up here and read it. So sorry. We've got one that's navigating tax season with the perfect toolkit. Grow your practice with custom reports. We've got a TPN Tax Talks, energy improvements and other capital expenditure deductions. Elevate your firm, how to gain trusted advisor status. And then a new series like similar to this one that we've kicked off called Marketing Talks. And the initial one is what is your brand and where do you start? I'll drop that link into the chat as well. It'll also be in the follow-up. So I've thrown a lot at you. Now Mike's about to throw a lot more at you. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him and let him do his thing. Mike, thank you. Everybody who's joining us, thank you very much for being here.
Hey, thank you, Gary. Thank you, insightful accountant. And live from San Antonio, it's Cashflow Mike, right? So here we go. This is going to be exciting. First of all, this is new material for me. It is so new. This thing is 1 day old. I just completed this deck yesterday. So what I try to do with these cash flow mastery talks is give you some new stuff, some new thoughts, some out of the box type of thinking. If you've ever been to one of my webinars, if you've been in my class, you know you're going to get a lot in a little bit of time. We're going to go over a new way to look at accounts receivable. And when I say new way, I got to kind of back up and explain what I mean, right? So let me share my screen. And if you want a copy of this deck, I'll give it out to Gary right after the session, and you'll be able to use it. So I assume everybody can see it. I assume everybody's good and can see the screen. I think it says that, but here's what we're talking about. This is the cash flow master talk, and we're talking about optimizing for accounts receivable. Now, here's where this all begins, right? Here's where it all begins for me is it's possible that you are being profitable. It's possible that you're so successful that you run yourself out of business, right? It's a phenomenon called growing broke. And that's kind of directly related to accounts receivable. And what I've got here is kind of the chart because I went and looked. And over the past, we'll say 20 years, business bankruptcy filings have been down. When I used to do this in 2012, business bankruptcy filings were around 50,000 per year. It's actually down to about 18,000. You got to remember that 50,000 was right around the time when the bankers burnt the world down back in 2008. So 2009, 10, 11 were a lot of bankruptcies that were being filed. Right now, that average is around 18,000 a year. So it says that they've dropped steadily since 2009, but this last year in the rolling 12 months, the chart that I looked up in uscourts.gov is showing a 23% increase just from June of or July of last year to June of this year. So a rolling 12 months, bankruptcies are up 23% in that last 12 months, right? So coming up into recent history here, bankruptcies are back on the rise. So this has got to be front and forward in your mind for your clients, for yourself, for everyone is we need to make sure that we're getting enough cash into the business. The stat that I'm showing here is that here's an interesting thing. When you go look at the businesses that filed bankruptcy, 35% of those, 35% had profit on the books, which means on their income statement, when you saw it, you go, oh my God, this company's making money. How do you make money and run out of it and not be able to pay your bills? Well, that's the phenomenon of I'm doing so well, I'm making the sales, I'm just not getting paid. And the biggest story I can always talk about with that is that paper profit problem. And it started with this product, right? This product, if you have never seen it, it's okay because I don't think it exists anymore. Matter of fact, the only picture I could find of it was a used one that was all beat up and scratched. I mean, that's how old this product is. In the early 2000s, a friend of mine, Alden Mills, created this product. It's called the Body Rev, right? And it was just two handles, and you kind of gave you a little bit of resistance and aerobic activity. And he thought that was the way to increase health, right? So Alden developed the company Body Rev and created this product and raised $1.2 million from his friends and his family, and the third F, which is fools. So friend, friendly, and fools, but they're not fools because they invested in this product. They just believe in him, right? They thought that he was onto something. Well, Alden took the $1.2 million and he basically blew it, right? He went on the Home Shopping Network. He went on QVC. He did his own infomercials. And I bet probably 3 people at 3:00 in the morning bought this product, right? It just did not go. And he burnt down over $1 million in a little over a year just in design and advertising and trying to market this product. Then he did something interesting. He goes, man, I'm down to less than $200,000. I'm going to pivot the company. And if you don't know anything about pivoting a company, it's when you believe in something, that so well, right? You believe in something that you just change the way that you introduce it to the market. in this case, he still believed in the movement, right? He still believed in in taking muscles and moving them one way or the other way, stretching them differently. So he took these two handles out, right? And see how they're on a spinning kind of a disc. They're on that. And he says, I'm going to take it off of this case, this gray case, and I'm going to put them into two paddles, just like that. So this product, Body Rev, morphed into this product of Body Rev, which are two handles just on a disc. Now, when you see this product today, it's not even called Body Rev. It's called the Perfect Push-Up, right? And as you do a push-up, it just moves your hands, right and left like that, just on a spinning disc. So you can see how this product became that product. Here's what happened. That one small change, he actually went from no sales, nobody buying this thing, to everybody wanting these. I even bought one of these, right? I mean, now I hide mine in my closet in case somebody breaks in, they can't find it, and they'll steal my Body Revs or my perfect push-ups. But actually, I don't use it. That's not, they're in there, but I don't use them anymore. But here's what happened. The first year, he did $2 million in business. The second year, everybody wanted these things. He went on As Seen on TV. He was in Target. He was in Costco. He's in Walmart. He's everywhere you can go. He did $60 million in business and almost lost the company. How? The paper profit problem. Now in my class, the Clear Path to Cash, I talk about a concept called the financial gap, and that's directly related to accounts receivable. Here's how. He got the order. His dream was getting the order from Costco, from Walmart, from Target. And what he would do is he would package these up. He'd put them together. He'd pay people's salaries. He'd pay for the raw equipment. He'd pay for the trucks and the packaging, and he'd send them off to Walmart. Well, Walmart would sell through them in a week. What would they do? They would reorder, right? They would come back and go, Alden, loved it. Everybody loves these things. I can't keep them on the shelf. Give me more. Alden would go through the same process. He'd package them up, build them, pay the salaries, pay the rent, pay the raw materials, and send out more. So that dream of selling was happening. He could see that he was making sales. He was making profit. The second part wasn't happening, which means Walmart wasn't paying the invoice. So month after month after month, 3 months in a row, 90 to 120 days, he was having money go out of the company, form of salaries, form of, rent, packaging, distribution, all this money going to everyone else, none of it coming to Alden. 3-4 months later, he finally gets paid for the first order, right? 90 to 120 days. He needed enough cash to keep his company running. Well, that concept of the financial gap relates to that, because if I can get paid faster, my company needs less money to run. So what we're going to talk about today is, how do we get people to pay faster? How do we get people to change their habits? And it's twofold. Part of it is the company themselves, and in this case, Alden Mills. The other part is, how do I get customers to pay faster? So there's kind of a little dance, a choreographed, dance back and forth between customer and owner. Well, when we talk about the financial gap, this is what it looks like visually, right? Just so you can kind of understand that he's getting paid in 90 days. This is that financial gap I'm talking about. He's getting paid in 90 days. But in the meantime, he's doing all the things I just said. He's got payroll. He's got all these other items going out the door, money going out the door. We call that AP a lot of times, or operating expense, if you want to look at it this way. But AP sometimes just related. You can optimize it for inventory, but just cost of goods sold. So that's happening at the same time. That's why I've overlaid it, right? So you got waiting for money to come in. At the same time, I'm paying the difference, right? I'm paying all my bills. We see the difference there between the two. AR is out here at 90 days. We'll say accounts payables at 30 days because I'm trying to keep up with my monthly bills. The difference between those two is called the financial gap, right? This is the amount of time when you theoretically don't have enough money to run your business, run your company. So you need enough working capital, enough cash or other things, AR coming in faster, to be able to reduce this gap or be able to cover the expenses during that time frame. Well, there's only a couple of different ways to do that. You can make AR faster, which means collect faster, or you can make AP slower, which means pay later, right? So when we do AR as collecting faster, or AP, which is paying later, it actually makes the gap smaller. Those are the two moves that you have to be able to have enough cash in the business, and it takes less to run it, right? And I teach you a calculation in my course on how much money do you actually need to be able to run your business. And the smaller the gap, the less money you need. That's kind of where this is coming from. So how do I make this part? We're going to focus on number one, collecting faster. We're going to just work on making this a shorter line. Well, when I did all this, research, I looked at all this stuff, and I kept coming up with the same old tired strategies. And if you know me, I don't like to just give you the same old tired things, even though those are the basics, even though those are the things that we need to do on a regular basis. But I'm going to show you what they are, but just know that that isn't what today's about. Today's about showing you some new ideas, about thinking about, gamifying your actual AR process, but gamifying it in a way that makes sense and customers want to pay you, right? They want to believe in you and they want to pay you because there's a reward for them at the end. So here's the same old tired strategies that we already know, right? Which is, hey, send invoices promptly. I've got a loan guy that I don't know what it is. He doesn't want to collect cash up front, which is what I would be willing to pay. And he'll send me an invoice like 60, 70 days later. I'm like, oh, man, what are you doing, man? You mowed that yard 2 months ago. Why am I just now paying for that? Right? We got to get him to where he's sending invoices more promptly, because I always feel like he doesn't have enough money to keep up with other projects. Then offer multiple payment options. A lot of people are doing that already, from ACH to, taking checks if you want. Most people don't do that anymore. Most people don't take cash, but offer different ways. There's even, Affirm and things like that out there right now. Use online invoicing, going to make your life so much easier. I still have a client that is sending a PDF. He will go to his trade software. He will create an invoice in the trade software. He will export the invoice into a PDF and then send the PDF to his client. I'm like, why are we doing that? We have the option inside the software to send it directly from the software with a payment link. It's going to make your life so much easier. Offering early payment discounts, right? This is the typical one that you see is 210 net 30. I'll give you a 2% discount if you pay in 10 days, otherwise net 30. I don't think that drives enough behavior. I think that's okay. I don't think it drives enough behavior. That's what we're going to talk about today, is how to drive behavior. Having good relationships. People don't want to hurt the feelings of their friends, right? So, better relationships with their customers. A clear collection process, which is I do this at this time, will keep your accounts receivable lower because you have a defined process. It's not just willy-nilly, like who owes me the most money today. And following up effectively, better client screening. Don't give credit to people that don't pay you. If you know from history that they're terrible payers, let's get rid of them, right? But blah 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 blah. I call these the boring, same old tired strategies, but they're the basics. They're the things that you should be doing. Those are the things that you should already have established. I want to show you 5 new ideas that will be fun. One, because that's kind of what I'm trying to do now, is like, how do I look at a same tired old strategy and do something different with it? Well, I'm going to show you 5 different things. So we're going to think outside the box. These are all the tired old strategies. Here's the one we're looking for. The one that is going to encourage our customers to pay us more often and more frequently. So here they are. We're going to do personalized payment challenges, early payment discount allocation. Now, this is a different variation of what I just told you about early payment discounts, a reverse late fee, a pay it forward campaign, and then mystery discounts. So let me go through these. I've been so excited about this. I thought about this all weekend. I put this deck together this week, and I'm like going, these are some new ideas that I would try to get my customers to pay a little bit sooner. So let's talk about them each one individually. Remember, you're going to get a copy of this as well. So a personalized payment challenge. Here's what I'm talking about specifically, right? Is that if I know that you're a late payer, I'm going to challenge you to pay more on time. And then I'm going to customize a reward when you do. Maybe it's a free strategy session for me. Or maybe it's a different, product or service. I'm going to give you a reward when you pay sooner. I'm going to incentivize you to do the right thing, right? So if I know that you're actually that type of late payer, I'm going to challenge you to do this and get a reward on the back, right? So I always kind of give them, I'm thinking about these notification badges and visual proof, telling people, oh, you did it, and putting it on their invoice. Hey, don't forget, pay by this date and get the free blah, blah, blah. I'll call it Fiddle Hopper, because the tailored reward is something that you or your client's businesses can give to their client to pay on time. Something that's small. It's like giving a discount, but people don't always just need a discount. They like to see that little gift. They like to see that little something else. And then surprise bonuses, right? So occasionally I might go, hey, you did 3 in a row, I'm going to do X, right? So you're getting people to gamify and want to participate more in your AR collection process. All right. So that's one, personalized payment challenges. Here's the second one, a payment discount allocation. Now, here's what I think is cool about this is that at the beginning of a year or beginning of the relationship, you're going to give them 3 tickets, right? Just 3 tickets. Here's a 10% off. Here's a 20% off. Here's a 30% off. You come up with the discounts you're willing to give, and you let them pick which invoice that they want to use it on, but they have to pay before 30 days, before it's due, right? The only way they can use this discount is paying before it's due, and they get to pick, which means maybe it's just a regular type of invoice. I'll take my 10% off this month, right? And I'll use that one, but they can only use it once that year. And then the next year they get a different allocation of discounts. But you give them 3, especially if you're doing it 12 times, you're going to get 12 regular payments. You're only giving a discount 3 times a year. It doesn't have to be 3. You can be 2, right? I'm going to give you these 2 coupons to use whenever you want, whenever you're ready. And you make one of them that's kind of special. You're like, oh, it's a 30%er. And maybe it's different time frames. Like going, if you pay before 30 days, it's 10%. You can use that one. If you pay by 20 days, it's 20% off. You pay by 10 days, it's 30% off, or whatever your numbers come out to be. But the whole thing is give them an incentive to pay early, and they get to choose when the discount kicks in, but they can only use it once, right? It's like giving them a coupon, right? For, that you would use. So giving them a coupon, they can use on an invoice, but the rules of the coupon are you have to pay by a certain date. So you're speeding up that collection process. The next one is what I call the reverse late fees. You can see she's in reverse. That's what that means. She's going in reverse. But typically a late fee is, hey, once you're late, I'm going to put a fee on it. Well, this is kind of different, right? It's going to flip that on its head. We're going to incentivize you for paying early. And I'm not going to give you a discount. I'm going to give you points, right? It's like an accumulation of points. So every time you pay early, I give you X number of points per day that it came in early. And at the end of the year, maybe I've got, and we used to do this called a product called Bonusly for employees. When you got kudos and credits from your coworkers, you accumulated this bank of points, and it allowed you to pick a Starbucks gift card or a Nike gift card, or there was a whole library of like gift cards that we would give away for that incentive. So what you're doing is you're accruing points over the course of the year that you can use for other types of prizes that aren't that much in monetary value, but they mean something as they accrue, just like your credit card miles points or your American Express points. I mean, I just bought some chairs using American Express points, right? So I mean, why? Because they gave me the points, because I was doing the right thing. I was paying on time. I got the points. So point accumulation is how you're going to do here. It's called a reverse late fee. Hey, instead of penalizing you when you're late, I'm going to reward you when you're early, and we're going to do it with a point system. So it's one of the things I really like about this one is the ability to encourage people to move forward and do the right thing. And at the end, they can cash in the points for some type of reward. All right. This next one is I like it. This one is a pay it forward partnership. And what this allows you to do is set aside portions of the invoice, or people can pay a little bit extra on the invoice that gets paid towards somebody else's invoice, or they can use it in a later invoice, or it will go towards other types of social impact type campaigns, right? So basically what I would say do is choose a partner, business or charity that aligns with you, and design your invoices around it, featuring both of you guys. And then it's a shared reward, which means every time the invoice is paid on time or early, a portion of the payment goes towards supporting a partner's cause, right? So it's like Maybe we're doing something for breast cancer. Maybe we're doing something for another social cause, or maybe it's just two businesses that are working together, like going, hey, every time you pay your invoice on time, we're going to give you a discount on coffee over at my friend's coffee shop, or you get your dry cleaning, one shirt free, whatever that is. You partner with another person, and by doing the right thing in one business, you actually get rewards into another, or you actually have some type of charity event where a portion of your invoice goes to a charity, and you get a lot of positive impact off of that, right? Which you can do press releases, you can get the news involved. People want to do it because they feel like they're contributing back to a good cause, and they get recognized when they do that, right? So you can always have recognitions. Oh, so-and-so, put $200 towards charity this quarter, based on the amount of their invoices. So that's kind of a unique approach. It's going to encourage faster payments, but it's also pulling some businesses together. So if you got a couple of clients, maybe there's a way to bundle their services together like this, where I get rewards in one by doing good business with the other. And try to build a better community. And lastly is this mystery discounts. Now, you can see where this is influenced, right? I mean, all the talk on TV today, or, these days, is about UFOs and aliens and those things like that. So I'm like, well, maybe it's a mystery. So what I like to do is, like, after people pay, give them the discount then, right? On maybe another invoice, but they don't know what it is, or maybe you refund it or give them just credit towards the next service, which is you can use a random spinner. You get 5%, you get 2%, you get 1%, you get 15%, 25%, whatever that is. But they don't know what it is, what the discount's going to be on the invoice until they pay it. And they don't get the discount unless they pay it on time, right? So it's like going, everybody likes to take a chance on a lottery. Everybody likes to kind of take a chance on a grab bag. That's what this is. All I got to do is pay my invoice on time, and I get a random discount. Maybe it's 1%. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe there was no discount, right? Because you hit the one spinner thing, and you can actually get these electronic spinners to do that. So basically what I'm trying to do is, what's the point? Why do this? We went through all the basic stuff you should be doing. Send your invoices on time, but I'm trying to encourage people to make timely payments. And what I know as a basic rule of economics is whatever you tax, you get less of, and whatever you incentivize, you get more of. So when I make things harder, it becomes a tax on somebody else, and they do less of it that I want. When I penalize them, and charge late fees, those type of things, I'm going to get less of what I want, prior behavior or good behavior, because people don't care. They feel like it's a tax. If I incentivize you, I get more. So if you got mystery discounts, if you got different ways to allocate discounts, or ways to incentivize people for doing the right thing, I'm going to get more of that behavior. And believe it or not, it's kind of fun. Like nobody does this. Nobody thinks about invoices this way. They have to be too solid, too strict. Well, if you come up with the right discount, it's the same thing that you're doing already in some of your special offers. It's the same thing you're doing already in some of your, your promotions. Just build it into the actual invoice itself, which is, hey, listen, we'll give you this discount when you do the right thing, right? You did the right thing by purchasing. Now do the right thing by paying, right? So then again, it's going to differentiate your business. People are like going, oh, did you hear how they're invoicing? They got this mystery discount thing. As soon as you pay, you get this discount back, and you don't know what's going to be. It's crazy. So you'll get a little bit of buzz. You'll be different, and people will want to work with you just because of that. So Q&A coming in. Do you suggest increasing prices to cover the discount? So as to not lower your gross profit? Yeah, sure. But some of us are already doing this already, right, Larry? So some of us are already doing this already with when you put out a coupon, like, I do a promo code. Oh, look at that. I got my little Apple bubble here. I'll do a promo code, but it's already kind of built into the gross profit of the, wasn't ready to unshare that. Built into the gross profit of the, where's that? I'm lost again. There it is. Of the price itself. So yeah, I would think if you're going to give a 10 or 15% discount, that should be included as part of the price as it is, or make sure that you're not so low on your pricing now that you can't give a discount. But if you're already doing that, it's just a different way to display it, different way to promote it. So if you want to learn more about what I do, you can always get my free ebook at cashflowmike.com. It's how to analyze any business in 7 minutes or less. You can join the free Facebook group. I'm always giving out like tips and tricks and things to avoid as well, or little resources you can get for free in the Facebook group. I do have a podcast, Mike and Blaine. If you like business, beer, and BS, well, there's plenty of that on every episode. And of course, if you have any questions and want to learn more about what I do, you can email me at Mike@CashflowMike, and we can connect that way. So, Gary, I'm going to turn back zero time to you. That was a perfect 30 minutes.
Almost like you planned it.
That's funny.
Actually, there is one more question that came in, and that is, what is an acceptable percentage of AR to income?
See, that's an interesting one. So basically what I do with this, you got to realize that and I teach this actually in the Clear Path to Cash, that AR is a variable asset, right? Which means that it tends to move up and down with your income or your sales, Renette. So, and I think you know that already. So it's not acceptable, like Linda's saying. There's not a set point. But what you can do is go back over time and say, normally my business runs at 25% or 30%. And you can kind of maintain that level, because you'll see what 30% of sales would be the level you're looking for in the balance sheet. In my app, the Clear Path to Cash, when you're trying to figure out how much money you have versus how much you need, right? There are sliders. And when you see that you reduce your shortage, which means you have enough money to cover your daily business, the shortage number will turn from red to green. That number will also show you how much AR you should have on the balance sheet. So, if we had more time, I would show you on the app what that looks like, but it will tell you that you should have 34 days of AR, and 34 days of AR is equal to X number of dollars on your balance sheet. So that's one of the ways you can balance that and find the right acceptable amount for the way your business runs.
Fantastic. All right. Any other questions? Going once, twice, three times. I believe that might be it. Mike, thank you so much. I like that. Actually, as you were talking, I'm like, okay, I need to be thinking about that, because we, offer discounts on the front end, but then they don't necessarily pay in a timely manner.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, we'll give you a 10% discount, whatever. Well, but if you don't pay me for 60 days, how is that helping me?
Yeah. Well, I told my group this morning, I'm saying, hey, come to this one, because I'm going to look at AR differently this time. We're going to flip it, right? We're going to flip it on its head. So that's a good way to think about it.
I like that. It'll be interesting to see how that works out over time, and what type of feedback you get. But actually, it made me think. I'm like, all right, how do we pull that into our process? So thank you. If nothing else, I learned something. So,
there you go.
All right. Well, we do appreciate it. Thanks everybody for being here. Mike, thank you again for pulling this together for us, and I'm sure we will talk very soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, hey, are you going to QB Connect?
No, I can't make it this time. It's marching band competition.
Okay.
So season. So I have a stepdaughter in the marching band. So we're travel parents right now.
One to the next. I gotcha. All right. Well, you better keep working then, because that's not inexpensive.
No, that's right.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody.